Okay, so it's the 23rd of January. And by the way, £6, what was this? £6.10, £6.30 for like a Jiffy bag. Like seriously, the delivery prices is absolutely ridiculous on these. But anyway, these are the Better Man cassettes. So I have them both the right way up. There we go. So both variants. The cassettes themselves are only £9 each, whereas the postage again was ridiculous. Like, yeah, I don't know why, because like if you bought just one of them, I think it was £3.75 postage. But then if you buy two, it goes up to £6.10. I don't know how, this is. I mean, I can tell this, would have not cost anywhere near that amount because they're pretty small and light, but still they've arrived intact. Now there is a version of this you can get with a signed postcard, though it is folded up and that by the looks of it, and it comes with the CD as well. I wasn't really interested in paying an extra tenner for like a postcard and a CD, so I just bought both cassettes. Now this should be at some point getting a vinyl release. Because when Robbie Williams was on the Graham Norton show on New Year's Eve, Graham Norton actually had the record, although I think it was just an empty box. But there was one website that did show a picture of it, but unfortunately when you clicked the link to follow it and that, it said, oh, something went wrong, this page is down. So yeah, I'm assuming they must be having production issue and that with the record. If I can get this thing bloody open. There we go. There we go. So yeah, unfortunately Better Man has flopped. And I wasn't really surprised. And that's, I think, only, like, it's made 14 million out of its $110 million budget, I think it's estimated at. And obviously only 2 million of that came from the US. I think obviously most of it came from the UK, which, yeah, I mean, this thing, with that kind of budget, it was gonna probably flop, because unfortunately Robbie Williams is just, not known in the US at all, and that is partially deliberately. Anyway, here's the cassette itself. I mean, I'll admit now, I haven't actually seen Better Man as of yet. And I was considering it, but then I found out it's getting a digital release on the 11th of February, so I'm just gonna wait for that. Sorry, but straight after Christmas, I mean, like, you're going up against a lot of other. You're going up against Sonic 3, and that. Yeah. Just like wasn't the best time, like late December, January time. Here's the alternate one, which I think is meant to be him from his Nebworth performance. I saw a video last night from a guy explaining why the film flopped, which was interesting to see why, because obviously the reason why is no one went to see it, and that. But apparently it is a really good film, and he seemed to think a bit differently, saying that, and I'm going to quote this, that Robbie Williams was only popular during the 1990s, and most of his fans were teenage girls and gay men who have now grown up. I mean, there's a couple of problems with that. Yeah, okay, during the days, I'd say, but Robbie Williams is the peak of Robbie Williams' popularity was actually the early 2000s, not the 90s. Obviously, Nebworth 2003. That was, and he says it himself, that was like the peak, of his fame and stardom. Not that it faded afterwards, and that. And this guy also said in the video that most people have forgotten about him. and that, which is clear, he's coming from it from a US perspective. I mean, because he was never known over there, but in the UK, like, everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows who he is because, you know, although he doesn't have not nearly the fame as he once did. That's actually nice. It's got. Oh, I was about to say, does that have track lists? No, it's just credits. Okay. He doesn't have not nearly the fame as, you know, he once did, but, you know, he is still very famous. People still know him. His songs are still played to this day. I mean, he had an orchestral version of basically his greatest hits released back in 2022. Was that when 25 was released? I can't remember. So, yeah, obviously, you know, not as relevant. I will give it that he's not as relevant as he once was and that, but, like, people have forgotten about him, he's completely irrelevant. I wouldn't agree with that. I think the reason is because the budget was far too much because of the CGI monkey. Along with bad timing, really bad timing, for the release of the film. Yeah, anyway, those are the cassettes. In terms of what I think of their, because I've already listened to the digital version of this, really like the version of Rock DJ on this. Yeah, this is obviously the third, now in a lot of cases, iterations of this song. But yeah, I think that's the only one I think that's the one that really stands out the most on this release. And that's personally because it's like, I think the best way to describe it, it's like Rock DJ but in a Broadway style. And if you've seen, you know, the video on that goes along with it, makes sense. And that why. So yeah, but Better Man. I will say it when it comes out digitally. Hopefully a physical release, I'll pick up that. I mean, you know, if you know the Robbie Williams story already, and that, I'm assuming, you know, they'll obviously be changed, but yeah. But anyway, those are the cassettes. Hopefully it's focusing properly. But there we go.